39,255 men took their life in 2022. That number is up 2.3% since 2021. My goal with the After Dark series is to have deep conversations, hard conversations with men. It's very men focused, all about mental health, suicide, the struggles, hardships, everything in between, because silence is the enemy, and a lot of men don't know how to talk. So today we're going to have a really hard conversation. So this is going to be one where if suicide, the tragedy that involves bothers you or anything like that, this might not be the podcast for you. I know this man because he used to be my neighbor a couple of years ago. Our sons were thick as thieves, always doing stuff together, and his name is Quentin Davis. He's joining me. And then his son tragically took his life at age 11. So we're going to get into that, but I think it's very important that we have the conversation about who Q is, because he's very fondly known as Q in my gym. I've known him as Q when he lived on the street, on the block, when we had the cul-de-sac. So I want to kind of get into who he is, because he has a real, like the story that most men have, kind of like just having to walk away to find their way, almost. So I want to get into that. Q, thanks for taking the time to join me and producer Logan, a.k.a. Cinema 83.
Thanks for having me.
How's your day been going? Has it been going pretty good?
Just work, like always.
You are a hustler. I respect that. You're always doing something. So what do you do for work?
I got a courier business. So pretty much just haul candy bars during the year, but once school's out, I got a bunch of side hustles, because it seems like you can't get by unless you got some side hustles going.
I won't even mention the politics on this podcast. I will keep it out for everybody. What got you into that?
Well, gift of gab, actually.
Yeah, you do talk. Love you.
I came up here to go to school to get my mechanics license, and ended up getting out of school because I was going through some other stuff. Got in a little valet jobs, and I met somebody that was dropping stuff off in a van one day. And I was just really nice to them every day they came. And one day they asked me, you like what you do? It's okay. I mean, it pays the bills for the most part. And you want to do what I do? Well, what does it pay? About $650 a week. Mine just was like 15 years ago. So when they said $650 a week, I was only making like $400 or $500 a month. So you said $650 a week. I'm like, when you need me now? Like, I can walk off the job right now. So I did that, started with pharmaceuticals, and I never looked back.
Nice. Does it bring you enjoyment? Are you fulfilled with it a little bit?
I'm just tired of driving now, but I'm not tired of the checks, so I keep doing it.
Yeah. What does retirement look like to you?
Hopefully I'll be in the Caribbean. That's the goal.
Oh, well, I can respect that. I'm a big, I want to retire, I think, to Key West as it stands. I really like it down there. If you've got anyone listening for Key West or watching, I love you guys. It's cool as shit down there, man. Nobody cared. I had a lot of guys call me daddy down there and like say hello, because that's where it take. Yeah, dude, it's like amazing. Yeah, no. Oh, my self-esteem was great. It was like huge. I was like, you're right. I'm big. Yeah, thanks. I got those tattoos too.
Hello, daddy.
You like
no.
No, I was like, well, thanks. I need a compliment too. I appreciate it. But so I know, I totally feel you on the Caribbean. Where did you grow up?
Originally Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, bless. Way down there. Are you an Alabama fan? Careful, Tennessee ballroom. Got to answer right.
Well, I got to be. My brother played for Alabama.
All right. What position did he play for?
Lineman.
Really? What team? What years?
Oh, geez. He played his whole college career because he left there and went to the Texans. And he played for the Texans for almost 10 years.
I met him, didn't I?
I don't know.
Okay. I can't remember if I did or not. There was one brother I met of yours, big man.
Oh, no. That's my older brother.
Okay.
He was in the Marine Corps, yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes 100% sense. That man was big.
Alabama player's name? What was his name?
Antoine Caldwell.
Logan's over there, like, is he a little sports nerd over there?
Yeah, he's freaking 6'5", 300 and something pounds.
What happened to you?
I just went down and out. But I told him I was going to try to walk on for the Titans, and he was like, you better not. I'm like, why not? He was like, I'm not trying to line up across from you. Like, I'm like, yeah, because I'm going to target you. I'm not going to try to hit anybody else.
At least you guys got that brotherly love. What was life growing up down there in Montgomery, Alabama like for you?
Boring. Very repetitive. Nowhere. Like, it wasn't nothing really.
What was your socioeconomic status? Was it mostly middle class, lower class, upper class? How was lower? How your parents work a lot? Anything like that?
My dad worked for the same company for over 30-something years.
That's rare nowadays.
And my mom pretty much did housework for a lady that lived on our street. So it wasn't really much of nothing. Like, I didn't eat fast food. I didn't get pizza until I went to a friend's house. Like, none of that existed for me.
So what was it? You said it was boring. What did it make you dream of, or what did you like start thinking about with all that free time of boredom? Because I often think about that as a kid. Like, man, I miss being bored sometimes. You know.
I mean, my pastime mostly down there was just like fishing, hunting, learning pretty much how to live. Because if say we was to lose internet and stuff now, I'd be perfectly fine because I didn't have the shit. I mean, stuff anyway.
You can say whatever. We don't give a shit.
But I didn't have it anyway. I mean, didn't have AC, none of that. So if anything was to go to hell right now, I mean, I'll be fine. I know how to hunt. I know how to fish. I know how to farm. Like, it wasn't ideal, but however, looking back on it now that I'm an adult, I got some useful skills out of it. So in that part, I'm thankful.
When did you get into sports?
Right around 9th grade.
Okay. What did you play?
At that time, I did wrestling. Coach saw me. I didn't play any sports whatsoever. Like, I didn't even lift weights. And he saw me like, who's that guy? He looks like a boxer. So he called me over, asked me if I wanted to try out for wrestling. And did that, walked into the gym, never touched weights a day in my life. And he wanted everybody to squat. Well, I just found the biggest plates, and I was just slapping them on. I didn't know what I was doing. And I ended up squatting 405 for 2 and never squatted a day in my life. Now, the only thing I sucked at was bench. I've never been a big bencher.
That's still true today. Sorry. Just saying. I've seen it. I mean, I'm not. It's great. I don't watch the video of you working out ever in my gym. No, so 405 just raw out of the gate. I've seen, I always tell people this when you see in the gym, I can literally count on both my hands. I've been in the gym 29 years. On both these hands, how many people I've ever seen with beautiful squat form. And they just naturally have it, like you say. Like, you just grab it, boop, 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 and they just, I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah, squat and deadlift is where it was.
You're a strongman, right?
Yeah.
Right? So did you play football, basketball, or was it just strictly wrestling?
I wrestled and I did track.
What did you do in track?
Well, I did field events during the season. Then towards the end of the season, I'll do the decathlon. So all during, I'll train for triple jump, 100 meters, 200 meters, and 1,500. Like, every event on the field, I train for it during the year. Was
sports kind of a way out? Were you trying to get a way out of Montgomery, Alabama?
I just wanted something to do. Because my mom, if it was up to my mom, I'd still be there.
Oh, really?
She did not want me to leave home whatsoever.
Okay, what made you want to leave home?
The fact that she didn't want me to leave. So, it got to be something you're trying to hide me from. I want to see what's out here. And I kind of hate it because I feel like if she would have been more supportive and let me push myself, because I was willing to push myself. You didn't have to push me. I felt like I'd probably went pro in the NFL or something, or anything really, because everything I touched, I don't half-ass it. So if I decide I'm going to do it, then I'm 110% all day. Mm-hmm. And I did go out for football, and I made the team. Because that same year, it was another school that they came over. They were the state champions. Guy weighed me by damn near 100 pounds. I've always had explosive strength, always.
Yeah, I could still attest that's somewhat true.
So the second I came off the line, I hit him. He left his feet. I kept running because coach said, do not stop moving your feet.
Forrest Gump moment?
Pretty much. And he just was impressed by it. But my mom saw that I made the team and she wouldn't let me go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your dad like? Did he want you to go, or was it kind of like your
Pop
mom?
didn't care. He just worked, drank his beer, watched TV and wrestling, and went to bed.
So he really wasn't like a father figure for you guys, or not
Not
really
really.
involved in that regard.
He was real quiet. Like, he would say stuff, but it wasn't really like, you walk in, you got to speak to him. You got to say good afternoon or good morning or whatever time of day it is, and you'll get a back. Like, that was the response. Then if you walk in and didn't say anything, oh, you can't speak. Well, for what? You just gonna at me anyway, so why bother?
So your mom didn't encourage you at all. So I can relate. My mom, when I got into bodybuilding, she took me to the gym and all that, but it wasn't like, hey, great, or anything like that. It was just more or less like, until I got a car, that's what she was doing. You know what I mean? So that was about it. So you said that kind of bothered you because you felt like you could go further. Elaborate on that a little bit.
Well, when I got into strongman,
Okay.
like before I did that, I had just started training.
Okay.
I got in the gym, deadlifted. I didn't know what I was doing whatsoever. I learned how to work out from watching Ronnie Coleman videos. I found out who he was, started to watch his videos. I'm like, I want to do that stuff. And it just spiraled from there. And I went deadlifted 405, stiff-legged, no technique. Should have blown my back out, but I didn't. And within 1 year, I went from a 405 pull to a 675 pull in 1 year. I didn't realize how unheard of that was. And mind you, I was only working out 1 day a week for 8 hours that day. I go in Saturday morning and I would work out to 3 in the afternoon.
I know you're always at my gym for a long time.
Can't help it.
I know. So is that like the only day you could go? Was that like just the...
I would torture myself for those 8 hours, but I would be sore until Thursday of the following week.
Okay.
And by Friday, I'm feeling good. Saturday, I'm back in there.
Okay.
So I would literally hurt for the entire time. You thought I worked out all week, and it just worked out for my work schedule. So,
How old were you when you left Montgomery?
19?
Okay, where did you go first?
Here.
Oh, you just came straight to here. What
Came
about
here.
Nashville? Why Country Music City, USA?
Well, my wife at the time, we had got married, and then she was going to Vanderbilt, so I just moved up here.
How old were you when you got married?
19.
19. Wow, you were so young.
Well, I had a kid.
Okay.
I got a 21-year-old daughter now.
Okay.
I had her, and I was going through some stuff with her, and I was like, I need to do something because working in Montgomery wasn't cutting it. So I was trying to go build a life somewhere, and ended up here.
Oh, fantastic. Do you like it here?
I used to. I got a question now. We'll get in that later. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I mean, at first though, yeah, I actually loved it here.
Tell me about what it was like with your wife, because you guys were married up until and then through Lucius's untimely death. So what was that like, courting, all that stuff, like when you go back? Like when you were 19, I'm trying to figure, like when I was 19, all I gave a shit about was Ronnie Coleman videos and working out. I'll be honest, like, you know, like Mitsui Kabi videos, you were like, oh, you get them, and like Lee Priest, all those guys. So I couldn't imagine being a dad, let alone wanting to say I'm all in with someone at 19.
We met in the 7th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just went from there on up. And we split up for a while, then we got back together. And when we split up, that was when my daughter was conceived. But then me and her split, and we ended up together after that. And I was going through some custody stuff with her, and I was like, I need to make money. Like, I got to find something else to do. And so we agreed to get married and all this other stuff. And I moved up here, and the rest of it was history. So.
How long were you guys married before you guys had Lucius?
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years. What were the first 5 years like with you guys?
Rough.
Okay.
Emotionally, I was very crazy because I was fighting a custody battle, and every time I went to court, it just seemed like they didn't give a damn about anything I had to say, even though I had proof. So it just made me spiral.
Custody courts are tough. I had to go
They're the
through
devil.
that with my youngest son, and that was like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like, and that was something like I told one of my buddies once. I'm like, dude, there is no equality.
Oh, none.
At all
None.
in those courts. You walk in, they look at you like, that's a man. That
don't know
ain't
what
going.
he's
Yeah, nope, not going his way. And it sucks because, in the case for mine, I'd be curious to hear yours. It was like you just didn't even get a chance to talk, and that was what bothered me. They were just kind of just like, yeah, shh, shh, and I was like, oh man, oh my god, I don't even care. I know I got to pay something, but I'm trying to like figure out how all this works because I'm trying to understand like what more I've got to actually do.
Yeah.
And this is like all this craziness. And I can be dragged back to court if I fart the wrong way and say I'm not giving $5.
In an instant.
Right. You know what I mean? So I want to know, and they just won't even hear it. So that said that it made you emotionally crazy. What was going on that strained you so much?
Just that I knew at the time my daughter was in a shitty situation, and the courts just didn't give a damn. And I just kept pointing out, I'm like, with me, she's literally like, she would have had her own room. She would have been going to Vanderbilt, because Vanderbilt actually has an elementary school and stuff too. I didn't know that at the time, but when I found out, I was like, huh. But since my wife at the time was an alumni, my daughter could have got in for free. So I had all this set up, and they literally looked me in my face and were like, well, we know it's not the best situation she's in, but we think it's better. How? Like I'm trying to make sense of this. So I'm driving down to Montgomery for court every couple weeks. That's why I end up not being in school anymore. Because they said I was missing too many days. I'm like, I'm in court. Well, you still miss too many days. Like, well, fuck it. I'll just go get a job then. Don't worry about it. And I didn't look back after that either.
Did you feel like that was like holy shit, this is fucked up, man? I'm literally trying to better myself, trying to better another person's life, and then I'm literally just getting executed every shot.
Railroaded, man. It was one of those things, and I mean, and she was pushing me, and I knew later that, it was out of love or whatever, but at the time I was just so stressed that I was like, I'm tired of fighting, leave me alone.
So you withdrew.
Well, I started lashing out at her, and then once I realized I was doing it, I'm like, I'm finna lose my marriage if I don't stop this. Like, this is way too much stress. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it in God's hand. Whatever happens, happens. I don't like this idea, but I just had to back away.
You don't like what idea? The idea of leaving it in God's hands?
Nah, backing away from my daughter. Because I couldn't keep fighting, because it was literally pushing me. I was like, I'm gonna do something I don't have no business doing. Because she's playing with my kid. The courts are playing with me. I don't know what else to do. I'm finna snap. And I was like, you know what? I made the choice to wait till she was 18, and I'll reach out to her then. At that point, she can speak for herself. Well, that was a rough thing, because I literally reached out on her 18th birthday. And she was mad. I figured that.
Of course. Yeah.
I mean,
she has right to be mad.
Every right.
Every right.
And that's what I told her. I'm like, when she started going off, I'm like, I'm going to let you do that because I'm owed that. Now, once you finish, we're going to sit down and have a talk. Because I'm going to hear your side, hear all your grievances, but we need to talk afterwards. And it's been a rough road, but I think we're finally making headway. I got my first grandchild now.
Congrats.
So appreciate it.
So how long has it been since you reached out on our 18th birthday to now where you made headway? How many months did that take? I presume a little bit. I presume
The first year was hell.
First year. Okay, so she gave it to you for a year. Deserved. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kept telling him, like, look, like, I know you hurt, but I'm not interested in being yours or nobody else's emotional punching bag. Like, we can talk about this. We can go to counseling. We can do whatever you want to do. That's cool. But you're not going to keep beating me over the head. Yeah. So, because, I'm here for you. I'm trying to be here for you. I don't mind it. But you're not going to abuse me. So it was a whole bunch of back and forth. And now we kind of on flat ground and we just cruising along. So it looks like everything's okay now.
How often have you seen her?
Whenever I go to Montgomery, I talk to her every week, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How's that been? Is that like kind of filled a part of your heart for you that...
Yeah, it actually did.
Nice.
So, I mean, she's my firstborn. I mean, it's my baby girl.
Yeah, that's like the thing. Sometimes the court system I found to be, I really thought the way it was for me that they were just trying to make me submit. And if I hadn't had the fight in my backyard, I probably would have arrived at the same situation you had, because going back and forth, losing school, losing potentially a marriage, potentially losing a job,
everything,
or job, just to keep going. At what point you're not even able to get ahead to help your daughter out.
So what's the point
in the future? Yeah, you're better off escaping, because that's always going to be, you're the target, and it has nothing to do with anything else.
And that's typically how it is when it comes to us. So
100%. Where are we at for time on this?
You got about 7 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you real quick. Whenever you reach out to her, I've been kind of reacting to what you're saying over here because my dad went through a very similar situation, and as an adult now, I look at it and I say that was fucked up, and he was treated wrongly, and etc. So that hits home for me. But when you made that decision, right, and then you talked to her at 18, obviously she was mad, and you said, "I know you're gonna be mad," etc. But did you try to explain to her like the realities of the situation, and like that you tried, like it wasn't like you just disappeared, like you were trying?
I explained it to her in the best way possible, because I tried to keep her mom out of it, because even though I know
that's commendable,
I didn't look.
Yeah.
One thing I would have noticed, like, because I said one thing when she asked me why reach out to me now, and I told her, like, well, I figured that when you turn 18, technically you're an adult. So I can talk to you one-on-one without any outside interference. The immediate next words out of her mouth was, don't hit my mom over the head. My mom was good to me and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, I respect that, but my truth is my truth. But I won't speak about her again. Let's just talk about me and you. And that's where we went with it. So it was just a sore spot, but I found out later on that there was a bunch of other stuff going on that I didn't know about. And I guess she slowly started seeing it, but she still had that hurt towards me because I left her. And so I was more so focused on repairing that than trying to badmouth somebody or justify something. I merely just wanted to let her know why I left and why I came back when I did.
Did you go to any counseling before you did this? Go talk to anybody, journal about it?
Nah.
Was it just like in the driving back and forth with what you're doing, this was unfolding in your head?
Yep.
How many times had you rehearsed? Sorry, better said. Sorry.
I don't rehearse.
No, rehearsed in your mind how that would have gone down. Like for over the years, did you ever just think, okay, well, she's 18, I'm going to say this, and this is how it's going to go, and it went the way it did, obviously. But I'm just curious how often you like really played that out and thought that out. Was it like every day?
Honestly, I never thought about it.
Really?
I just was waiting on that day because I knew it'd probably be rough, but I never really cared. I'm like, I just miss her and I just want to talk to her.
Okay.
So as far as how it went, I'm like, it's only one or two ways it's going to go. Either she's going to talk to me or she's going to spaz out on me and not talk to me. So we're just going to see what happens. Because I knew this when I rolled the dice and said I was going to wash my hands of it until she became of age. So I knew the risk going into it, but I didn't have much of a choice. I mean, the system wasn't helping me, and I was running out of money and everything else. I was running out of life trying to fight this stuff.
Yeah.
So I just can't do it.
I think that's like so speaks to just how grounded you are of an individual, because here you are like having to make this hard choice. And then you're just like, okay, I'm going to put all my faith into 18 and just whatever happens on this day, A or B. And you just went with it because, I have something going on. My oldest son, me and him haven't talked in over a year or about a year now. And that's just strictly because I was like, look, man, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like that stuff you're doing is like, will give you a life of a loser. Like people legitimately think that view. He's like, don't say. I'm like, well, I'm allowed to have my truth, man. I'm like, you'll be 18 soon. I'll chat with you then. And it's been a bitter pill for me to swallow. Like, and for me to hear this from you, it's like, okay, all right, I could just be patient because I'm like, I'll find myself playing in my head like, I'm gonna fucking say this. And I'm like wanting to be like text message to his mom on his 18th birthday, hey, motherfucker, and I'm like, oh, but just hearing you do that, it's just the way you've handled that. No, that's really mature, man. That like puts it in good perspective that you really did like in that moment just said turn it over to God and just go with it. Everybody asks me what I love for my swimsuit season because you all want to see me in a swimsuit, right? Thyroid Boost Plus by New Ethics. I love this. This has active glandulars, which actually help your thyroid nourish the way you want to have it nourished. It's got micronutrients to help support healthy thyroid function. I use this with anyone who's looking to enhance their metabolism, especially my athletes, men and women who are looking to drop a little extra body fat. But what this is really, really good for is for helping with brain fog and energy because there's iodine in it. I'm a big fan of iodine. Relentless 10, nevethics.com. Guys, they support a brittle bones bodybuilder who's not even pro. Come on, how cool can you get? Show them a little love, Relentless 10. Men, are you having a little problem in the bedroom maybe? Would you like to know what's going on under the hood? Well, you're in luck. Advanced Vitality HRT, they are offering $25 off your first set of labs. Look, not every guy needs testosterone therapy, but the majority of men really need it. And it's becoming quite a pandemic if you really look into it. So advancedvitalityhrt.com. If you guys go to brittle-to-unbreakable.com and look under sponsors, you will see a form on there. Fill it out. I'll get you in their right hands. And guess what? There's probably been a few people who've done it. They didn't need teeth therapy. They told them some good supplements to do. Check back up and they got $25 off your lab. And the Biden economics, save every dollar you can, guys. Check them out. Oh my goodness. Look at this. I'm a published author. Yes. Brittle to Unbreakable, My Journey to Redefine Suffering. It is an autobiography that can't resist being a self-help book. These are coming in on a big truck in the next few weeks. So I'll be mailing them out. If you'd like to purchase a pre-order copy, go to brittle-to-unbreakable.com. It's a raw therapy session about my journey with my brittle bone disease. I talk about just all the hardships I had from my grandfather bullying me to my anabolic steroid use, growth hormone use at a young age, and ultimately having to resort to psychedelics after trying to commit suicide to regain my mental health. So it's an honest transparent journey, should I say, through life. So if you're interested in reading about it and know a little bit more about me, brittleunbreakable.com. You can find it there. As you guys can see, this beard looks really sharp in that camera. Do you know how it gets so sharp? Cinema 83. He just zooms in. You see, like I'm just like totally eye screwing you back and forth right now. But if you guys want someone who's amazing at what they do, from video edits, to shoot videographies, to podcasting, producing, and overall just helping bring your business to life in a visual and audio way that companies need, Slim 83's got it. I know he's in Nashville, Tennessee, but if you're local, he might travel to you for only feet pics. So check him out, Cinema 83. All right, so we both agree that the child custody courts are not male friendly, it seems, as much anymore, albeit though I did kick the trend and have full custody of my son. Let's get into, after the 5 years, Lucius comes along. Mm-hmm. So at this point, you kind of stepped away, made a little peace with yourself, started working on the marriage, started really going to... When he was born, did that like enhance your all's marriage, make it better? Like, how was it for you? How did it change life? I have so many questions I want to ask because it seemed like going up to this point, it seems like the last thing is like a kid. You know what I mean? And here comes a kid.
It definitely put things in perspective. I fell more into the man of the house role. Because at that point, you know, wife and kid, technically I got a full household now. So decisions had to be made, money had to be made, and like the best thing in my head is they had to be protected. Mm-hmm. And I'm real big on that. So, because when she was pregnant, I literally wanted to fight the world. Like, if anybody even breathed in her direction, like, I wanted to attack them. And I didn't know what that was about, but they said some men are just like that. My testosterone was through the roof. So when he got here, it just really changed things. Just looking at a little life, I'm just like, huh, I made that, huh?
Of course you did. So you guys going through the pregnancy, you're Papa Bear and all that. He comes along. What was that first few months like as you guys are growing together as a family? Like, what were some of the moments? Like, did you start thinking and telling yourself like, hey, this is going to be all good. Like all the things I'm working for, all the things I'm seeing are starting to happen. What was your kind of mindset those first few months of life?
Well, I just was, like you said, just looking at it like I gotta provide for this little guy and make sure this household stays afloat. So I immediately went into grind mode.
Okay.
So, because she was at home with him, so I'd get up, go to work or whatever, but also I wake up early and try to do stuff with him before I went to work because I was getting up anyway. So I get up and try to feed him so she didn't have to wake up and then go to work and just did most of the providing for a while.
Okay. How was Lucius in any sports? What did you guys do? Like what were some of your memories, all that stuff to kind of walk through?
He tried to play sports. He was more the academic type.
Okay.
Which was weird because I'm 100% athletic.
Right.
So, but he really loved computers and stuff like that. Like, I showed him how to play. I gave him my Nintendo, my Super Nintendo. And I had, what was it? Smash Brothers.
Oh, such a good game.
And he was in there playing it and he was playing it wrong. And I'm like, look. So I went and showed him.
Of course you did. No, you're doing that wrong. It's a dad's responsibility to tell the kid when he's fucking up. No.
So I showed him just how to do the little smash move. And I walked away. Because I'm a firm believer in I'll show you once, maybe twice, but after that, you're on your own. Because me personally, it sticks better when I actually have to do it. So you can show me once. And if I screw it up after that, I'm going to keep trying to get it right. But when I do get it right, it's cemented. So that's why I showed him and I walked away. I didn't keep fussing. I didn't say anything else. Show, walk away. A month later, he asked me to play with him. Sure, I'll play with you. It's going to be easy. He beat the hell out of me. I'm sitting there looking at him like I didn't even have time. Like he was beating me and studying at the same time. Like, well, maybe if I move this way, would you jump? Never mind, I'll get you to jump. What do you mean you'll get me to jump? Like he literally obliterated me. And I'm like, I want to throw this game out the window. I don't like it anymore. But that's mainly where he was. Just games and computers and stuff like that. So
how was he in school?
Too smart for his own good sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like he would they say he was diagnosed with autism. I still kind of question it because I really just think he was shy.
Okay.
But I'm no doctor, so I don't know. But
you're his dad, so you have insight.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like he had certain mannerisms, but I really think it was just shyness.
Okay.
Because, most kids or adults with autism, they're weird with textures. He pretty much would eat anything I put in front of him. Now, if he didn't like it, he didn't have to eat again. I felt that way when I ate stuff.
No, that's normal.
I'll try it once, but if I don't like it, I ain't trying it no more.
It's normal, my kids, so I get that, yeah.
So, but he was very open to stuff like that. He was stupid smart. He loved reading. So
yeah, he did. I'm a diehard reader. He liked reading.
So but when he got bored, he just would branch off into something else, and that's the only time he got in trouble. Because he'll literally do all his work and everything before everybody else, and he's like, well, now I'm bored.
What would he branch off into?
Just doing random stuff to draw attention to himself.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think that's Keegan sometimes. I think they got that from each other. There's no real way. I want to go to that day.
Yeah.
I know the last little bits of it, but I want to kind of put together your last day with Lucius and what that looked like for everybody. How did it start?
He went to work with me because he
always used to go whenever he could.
Because that was when they were mainly doing school stuff from home anyway. So he would ride with me and he'll do his work on the road. Well, we got back that day and we was fixing dinner and he went to fix something and I asked him why was he doing it that way. Well, he told me the reason and I'm like, that don't make sense. Mind you, at this time, he had developed this weird habit of lying about stupid stuff. And I'm like, you can't go around lying about everything. Like, no one's going to believe you. I'm not even going to believe you. So I need you to stop lying. Well, I called his mom, asked her, did you teach him or tell him to do this way? And she was like, no. And I'm like, that's all I need to hear. I was like, you lied. Go upstairs, get your Nintendo Switch and bring it back to me. Well, little I know, when he went upstairs, he wasn't coming back. And that's what, fucked me up. Because he left, I'm sitting there on the sofa. All of a sudden I hear a pop, like a loud ass pop, almost like somebody maybe threw a brick at a TV or something. And I was like, the fuck? And I called his name, he didn't say nothing. My mind immediately went left. Because I'm like, there was a loud sound, he's not responding. I don't know what the hell just happened, but it can't be good. So from there, I don't know if I go into that much detail, but yeah.
How, obviously, you go upstairs, all that. What was the next few moments like for you? Like, I guess my next question would be, when did you kind of come back to where you kind of were like, okay, this is really happening, this is really going on, and when was that unfolding?
Well, I freaked the second I saw it, and I immediately ran downstairs, and for whatever reason, I called my wife first. Later to find out, she tried to hold up my head, like, why would you call me first? And I'm like, you're my partner. You was the first person that popped in my head. Why'd you call 911? You were the first person that popped in my head. So she tried to spin that, as we find out later, to try to say that I did it. Essentially, she tried to say I did it. And that's why I called her first. I'm like, that don't even make sense. I literally called you because you were the first person that popped in my head. And I didn't think it was real. Like, I really didn't think it was real. It can't be real. Because it's like, I don't know about other people, but when certain situations happen, it's almost like I go into a dream state. And I'm like, the air doesn't feel like air, like I'm not breathing. Like I can't, nothing makes sense. But the more, time went by, it was like, oh shit, this really is happening. And it's pretty much history from there.
Obviously, call her, and then you call 911.
Yeah.
911, you talk to them, they start sending people. Paramedics come and the police. What kind of unfolded then? Because I had gotten a phone call by this point, and I remember because Keegan was upset because something was wrong with all the cars and all that, and the woman I was seeing at the time called me and said, hey, this went on. And I was stunned because I remember I was like, well, surely it's just accident or something like that. I was like, because Lucius was like a really good, happy kid. Like whenever he was over in my house, like he was so respectful, so like really nice. Like, I mean, it was like, because I remember I just sat there. I had moved out. I was living at the house on the street. We were like in this break.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I was like, well, do I need to come? And she's like, no, I don't know much. But the street's crowded, all this shit's going on. And I said, all right, well, keep me apprised. I didn't know anything until the next day. But what was it like that night? Like, with the police and all that? Did they let you go to Vanderbilt? Like, how did all that go? Like,
they were very weird towards me because I was there, which that's fine. I get it. I mean, I'm the only person on the scene initially. And they was asking me, where the gun was. And I'm like, I moved it to the hallway. Well, why'd you move it? Because she came in, she was distraught. Last thing I needed was for her to see this, freak out, and do the same thing. That's what my mind said. So I moved it out in the hallway somewhere where she couldn't see it, but I told him where it was. I'm like, it's just sitting out there. And she left in the ambulance and went with them. I'm still in the floor losing my mind. And when I finally quit crying so much, I'm like, where's my family? And one of the neighbors told me, the ambulance took him. And I'm like, well, I need to go. Metro was like, well, somebody needs to stay here. I don't know who somebody is, but I'm not staying. My family's not here. I'm not finna be here.
I want you there.
I don't know. And they kept trying to get me to stay there. And they're like, well, we need to ask you something. I'm like, well, you need to hurry up. I gotta go. And I don't even remember what he said, to be honest. All I know is he was talking. I was just womp. That's all I heard. Cause I'm like, I gotta go. Well, at that point, I hit the table and splintered the entire table. At that point, he was like, well, you can go. Oh, I wasn't asking. That was my exit. I'm leaving now. Either I go through you or I can just go out the door. But nobody here, I promise you, is going to stop me from leaving. And you don't want to see that part of me. And I ended up jumping in my car and I beat the ambulance there. They left. They had a 5-minute jump on me. I was driving just that fast. I got to Vanderbilt right when they pulled up. And get in and they're trying to resuscitate or whatever. They say he showed up. He didn't have no heartbeat or nothing. And I tried to walk back there, but as soon as I hit the door, I just collapsed. So I went back out in the hallway and I was just sitting there in the chair. And then I was like, I can't be in here. And I went outside, tried to catch some air. And then DHS came out and said that he was gone. So, yeah.
So you hear that. What, obviously, does that reignite everything? Or by then, had you just kind of been like, okay.
Oh, no, I lost it again.
You lost it again.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it when you went back in? Because I guess at some point you went back.
By then, the detective showed up and wanted to talk to me.
Okay.
And I told him pretty much the same thing I told you. Like, there's really nothing else to tell. Like, I don't know, what do you want from me?
Okay.
Well, then they interview her. She's in there. I was in there maybe 5 minutes. She was in there almost 20. So I'm like, what could they even be talking to her about? She wasn't even there. Only to find out later, she told them that I used to hold them at gunpoint. I had tons of guns all over the house. Mind you, the gun he used was not my gun. It was her gun. I got a 36 gun safe. Everything's locked up. Everything. She left out her one carry pistol, and that's what he went and got.
Damn.
But she told everybody it was my gun. I probably did it. My story doesn't make sense. And so from that day forward, I didn't know it at the time, but they were trying to build a case against me.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so how is it with you and your wife when you guys leave the room? You guys had to go back to the same house together.
We went to a hotel that night.
Okay.
And it was a rough night. Actually, it was a rough couple of days after that.
Of course, yes.
But things were moving so fast that I couldn't think. Because that happened, what day of the week was that? It's like a Monday or Tuesday or something.
Tuesday.
Okay. By that weekend, she was having a funeral. I'm like, I haven't even processed this yet. How are you able to sit down? Because she was doing an obituary like the very next night.
Everybody handles grief a little differently, as I've.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
But the more it progressed, it seemed planned. Like, I ain't saying that she did it, but I'm just saying just the way she started carrying out. Because behind the funeral, there were a bunch of accusations that came. So much so that she had got clothes, hid them, that were mine. And said, she called the detective, said she found blood splattered clothes, that I'm hiding something. Only for me to find out later it was ketchup. And I'm looking at Metro like, how the fuck do you not tell the difference between blood and ketchup? You investigated me for 3 months over ketchup? And I had told them prior to that even happening, like, dude, I was in my deep freezer and I found brain matter in a bag in my deep freezer. Why is this in here? I'm like, something's wrong with her. I don't know what's going on, but something's not right. And they just pushed me to the side like we'll talk to her. That's it? You investigate me, but you want to talk to her. Mind you, also at this time, she was trying to get me to kill myself. Because she was constantly saying stuff to me that would kind of push me over there. She kept asking me what happened that night. What happened that night? Constantly. Would tell me step by step. And every time I relived it, it was like that constant repeat trauma. Because the second I started talking about it, I went right back to that room. Instantly. And I lose my shit. And she left and went to see family that she hasn't seen since we've been married. So really, she hasn't seen them since she was 18. But
How old is she at this time?
At this time, 39. And you want to go see these people that you've told me all your life how much they hate you, you hate them, they treat you like shit. But this tragedy happens and you run to them?
And you felt like she left you.
Exactly. And that's what everybody, when I went back home to Montgomery to visit people, because I was just trying to find people to be around. And that's the first thing out of my mouth. People run up and hug me and be like, well, where's she at? I don't know. What you mean you don't know? Because everybody's thinking, why aren't you together? Yeah. So it just went from there, and that's when all the stuff happened. I was out driving. I couldn't really work because I was used to him riding with me. So anytime I go to work, I look over the passenger seat, I lose my shit. So work kind of was fucked up. And but luckily I worked for myself. The people I got contracts with, they were good people. They were just like, you know what, dude, just take as much time as you need. Don't worry about it. So I'm trying to still juggle bills because bills don't give a damn what happened. So
Cold truth.
So I'm trying to deal with that, juggle my sanity, was trying to hold my marriage together. And it was just, everything was falling apart. Well, she, I called her because I was like, you left me. Like in my lowest time, you left me. Why would you do that? She kept saying stuff to me to where I literally broke down. I pulled over outside the bowling ring because I was on my way back from Kentucky. I was working. And I'm on FaceTime with her and I'm on the side of the road just losing it. When I finally cleared my eyes, she's just looking at me. No emotion. And I'm like, do you even give a damn? Well, I don't know what you want from me. Like, what you want? You want me to leave? I pull out my pistol, my carry pistol at the time, cocked it and put it under my chin. Is this what you want? She looked at me and then she turned her head and was like, if you do it, you do it. At that point, I put the pistol down. I was like, you know what? I see you. At that point, I knew the marriage was over.
It's interesting. It got to that extreme emotional highs from your end and hers, I guess, by the coldness, considering what I saw at Lucius's funeral. I saw you guys like there together. I remember I saw you 2 days afterwards.
Yeah.
And you were gone. Like, because someone asked me, they're like, well, how is he? I say, he's not fucking there. How do you think he'd be? And they were like, what do you mean? Like, are you worried about him? I'm like, well, I go, if my son took his life and it was accidental and it was because of my last actions with him, I go, I'd probably be having a hard time trying to figure out if I wanted to breathe there. Yeah, so him not being present when I was talking to him did not shock me. And that's why I was like, hey, you know, go to the gym. I threw you a gym card. You go 24/7 because I knew your ass was asleep, and I actually knew it was interesting because I remember I told my co-owner I was doing it, and she's like, "Why?" I said, "That man can't work," and she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because that boy was in the front seat with him all the time." So when you just said that, and that's what I remembered. I would always see you guys pull up the street together. Yeah, not always see him come out because you had that real shitty Honda Civic. Crappy R-type R car.
Like jealousy.
It does. And you guys used to get out of it. And I just remember Keegan and Lucius's exchange. So it just was one of those moments where, you know, as I step back and just hearing all that, you know, it's one of those because you're looking for in that moment, I would presume it's just someone to give a fuck about you. Because,
Essentially,
yeah, and it might not be the best way to show it, but it's displaying your just rawest emotions there. After that exchange happens between you two and the marriage is over, what begins to unfold next?
Well, instead of immediately filing, because ultimately I didn't want the marriage to end, so it wasn't my.
You want it, man. Like, no offense. Like, here you are, this breakdown. You're at the lowest of lows. Like, you don't know. I mean, everyone's gonna be like, well, you should never have put the gun underneath the chin. But I sit here and I'm like, your whole world's pretty much ended.
Honestly,
I don't know. I've always struggled with that myself personally because of depression. So for me, like, that was a lot. I feel like logical what you do. So, like, why would you still want the marriage to be saved if you were even willing to go through to that inf? And then Logan, you could chime in for sure.
Sorry, I'm like, there's just so much.
mainly because, like I said, we met in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
I've known her pretty much my whole life. We grew up in the same neighborhood and everything. And I was trying to look at it like, maybe this isn't her. Maybe this is just her dealing with the trauma. Like, I kept telling myself that. And people kept doing that. And people still kind of do that don't know exactly what has happened. And that's really all that was driving me. That was it. And once I got out of that mind state and I was just done, that was just it. I was done.
When did Metro let you know that they were bringing charges against you in this? And how long did that investigation really take? Because the day afterwards, I had gone over there because I had to get Keegan. And I had run across the maintenance guy who was up there, who was taking care of everything, and your neighbor, Jordan.
Yeah.
And I'd walked in to where y'all were and all that, and just, it was very, very dark scene. But how, I guess based upon that, how did they go from what would be a suicide to you took this person's life? Was it stemming because the gun had been moved? Was it stemming
Just off what she had told them?
Just off what she had told. So a person
She
who
was
not
feeding the detective tons of stuff.
there. Okay.
And they was like, well, she's very believable. That's what they told me at the end. Because when all this went down, I found out when she was initially trying to set me up, I was finna go to work, and her phone rang. Actually, no, it was a text. I digress. It was a text. And I was like, your phone going off? And she was like, check it. Pick up the phone, like, Detective Jesse Holt reaching out to you. She was like, oh, that's just a client. Jesse Holt is the detective I could have sworn I talked to at the hospital. No, it's just a massage client. She never saved clients in her phone like that. Okay, this is weird. I was like, well, he said he's going to call you at 9:30. It's fine. And she went looking through her computer, trying everything she could to prove to me that it was a massage client. And I'm like, I'm not stupid, okay? And I'm like, well, you know what? He said he's going to call you at 9:30. He's going to call at 9:30. I work for myself. I got all the time in the world. So I sat back on the sofa. And she steady scrambling this whole time. I'm like, you can come clean at any moment and tell me what's going on. Well, the phone rings. It's him. She picks up, hangs up. The phone hung up. I saw you push the decline button. Why are you playing with me? He calls back. Except this time, Metro Nashville detective Jesse Holt comes across the phone. Oh. Apple did that. Damn, I didn't know Apple was putting that much stuff in people's phones. So she answers this time like, you better push the button. And he like, hey, Erica, this is Jesse. Just reaching out to you. She was like, yes. He like, yeah, I was calling you about us doing the search warrant. She was like, what warrant? What do you need to search for? Now he's freezing because he's like, why are you talking this way? So I take the phone. I'm like, hey, Jesse, this is Mr. Davis. He's like, yeah, I kind of figured. I'm like, I'm good. What's going on? Well, I don't want to get in the middle. Oh, you in the middle, bro. It's too late for that. You might well talk to me.
I like how you just grabbed us by the balls on that. I like it.
And Then he started telling me, well, when she was in Michigan visiting a family that she doesn't like and doesn't like her, he said she was calling him and sending him emails, telling him about the shorts and all this other stuff. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, whatever she told you, I guess it's here. You can come get it. I don't care, but I'll be here too. And I gave her the phone back. And he told my son, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm like, hey, you can just send a car to come get her too. Y'all, you can have everything in here, including her. I don't care. Well, they show up by 3-4 carloads of cops. Go to the door. They're here for you. I didn't call them. They come in like, are you okay? I'm like, dude, I ain't did nothing to her. If I did something to her, I'd have met you a different way. But I ain't did nothing to nobody. I don't even know why y'all here, to be honest. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, do whatever you're going to do. I don't really know what's going on here, but whatever. Well, that's when I found out about that. And
so they kept this from you the whole time. And
yes.
She did.
This
so
whole time
they were
they was
literally investigating you, gathering evidence.
Trying to.
Yeah, and no one could just police. And I get to a certain degree they don't want to like tip you off. But it also like, were they kind of like a parent by the scene? That's like the one question, I guess. So I have to hear how all this unfolds. So they come in, you're like, nothing's going on. Do they do the search warrant?
They did the search, went and got the shorts.
Did you get anything else? Did you just give them anything else? I've been like, here.
I'm just gonna get whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
I ain't not hiding anything. I care less. And they did that, and she turned around, left the house that day, went and filed a protection order against me for domestic violence.
Have you ever done? Was there ever any domestic violence history before? I didn't think so. Yeah.
She that was filed. So that was set into motion. She filed stalking charges on me.
Stalking.
She filed aggravated rape and aggravated assault charges on me.
Wow.
And all this with no history whatsoever. And they literally arrested me. I almost got shot several times by Metro.
Okay, so how did this go down?
The stalking part came about. She said I violated a protection order because I went and bought a Ram pickup truck. I had the truck one day. Nobody in Tennessee knew I even had it. I drove to Illinois and got it. Brought it back. I go to BP in Hermitage that was up the street from us before it turned to Circle K. I get ready to pull in. I see somebody that looks like her. I'm like, I don't know if it's her or not. I drove past. Go down the street, pull over in Publix. She leaves, comes down, pulls over behind me. I'm like, really? I go to pull off. She starts following me. I gun it. She's chasing me around the damn neighborhood. Eventually, I lose her. Go back to BP because I still need a gas. But I'm like, well, maybe she's gone now. I pull up. She comes rolling up behind me again and pulls over on the side of me and looks at me. I'm like, you know what? Metro's across the street. I drove over to them. I go try to tell Metro, like, hey, I got some legal stuff going on with my wife right now, and she's literally chasing me. And I don't know what else to do because I don't want to be painted as the villain here. Well, they asked me for my name, asked me for her name, and it was a female cop. And she starts running, I guess, my information. She rolls the window up. My sister's on the phone, and she was like, something's not right. I was like, yeah, I kind of figured that, but I can't leave now because that's going to look weird. So I got to stay here. Well, I'm sitting there, then she rolls the window back down. She's like, yeah, I'm waiting on my sergeant because he deals with domestic matters. All of you deal with domestic matters.
Yeah, I didn't know that was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And so she tells me that. Another squad car pulls up. He speaks. They go over there and start talking. Third car pulls up. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but this ain't finna end well. So I just get out of the truck because I had just left the gym that day. I get out the truck and they surround me in a triangle. The female cop grabs my arm, tells me I'm under arrest for violating a protective order. Mind you,
Just grab your arm?
Just grab my arm.
They didn't even just like go, hello?
just grab my arm, tell me I'm under arrest for violating.
Honestly, I don't think they would have done that to me as a white man. I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. I don't think that would have gone down.
Well, when they did it, mind you, I just left the gym, so I still had a pump going. When she grabbed my arm and went to put it behind my back, it didn't move. And I just looked at her. I'm like, what are you doing?
Of course he did.
The other guy walks up, grabs my arm, and went to try to put it behind my back. I looked at him. I'm like, you might well be as strong as her. I'm gonna ask you again, what are you doing? By then, the sergeant looking like, oh, crap. I'm like, I'm not finna fight you. Even though I kind of want to right now, I really just want to know what's going on. Why I came to you for help and you're arresting me. And that's when they tell me that I violated protective order. I'm like, it's been dismissed. It literally was dismissed like 3 months ago. Where in the system, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put my hands behind my back for you. All right? I want you to go to my truck. There's a black bag on the back seat. Look in it, you'll get all the paperwork you need showing this was dismissed. They act like they didn't want to do it. But eventually she went over there and looked and she like, yeah, it says it right here, it's dismissed. I'm like, exactly. So could somebody tell me why the fuck you arrested me? Well, it is dismissed, but we still got to take you downtown. For what? I'm like, you know what? Whatever, man. Come on. And I'm like, hold on. I need to call somebody to get my truck. Oh, no, we just going to tow it. See, this is one of the moments again where I move if I want to move. You can't move me. If you don't let me get somebody to my truck, I'm not getting in that car. And honestly, I'm going to come out of these cuffs. So I'm trying to cooperate with you. I need you to cooperate with me just a little bit. I just want my truck taken somewhere safe. That's it. Because as far as I knew, she was still riding around watching this and they take me away. She destroys my truck. I don't know. So I ended up going downtown. That was the first time I've been arrested. And,
so first time ever.
First time ever.
Wow. Okay, so you're getting processed through and all this. They're reading all the charges, and it's stemming from her. It's not even
that magistrate. The first one.
Okay.
Somehow he looked at you like, this don't sound right. Like this doesn't make sense. Because he saw you like, yeah, I see it was dismissed. He like, then why? He like, okay, I'm gonna throw you a bone. So he helped me out. I end up going to court for it. It goes away, but then I get picked up again.
What did you get picked up this time for?
That's when the aggravated rape and aggravated assault came about. I didn't even know that was a thing.
How did it? Okay, so how did she pin you with aggravated rape, aggravated assault?
She just said it.
She just said it. So no rape kit, no nothing like
just
that.
Just said it.
Just said, and they were able to execute
a full out warrant on me.
And did
charge me and everything.
They come to your house and get you, or was that just? So did they do a knock and drop, or did they just?
I pulled in, coming from the gym again, and they were sitting outside the house, and I'm like,
you're like, this doesn't end good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I drove past them. They drive behind me. I'm like, okay. I back in. He pulls in front of my truck, gets out, walks behind my truck. He starts calling my name. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. I go to call my lawyer before I get out because I'm like, dude, hey, somebody needs to meet me wherever they finna take me. I get out. He sees me. He immediately pulls his pistol. I'm like, so what, you gonna shoot me? Well, there's a lot of people outside. So at that point, he put his pistol back up and pulled his taser out. I'm like, so now we're going to do that because there's people out here. He tells me later, well, you were a big old boy. You scared me. My heart about to jump out of my chest. I'm like, well, first of all, I ain't a boy. I'm a grown-ass man. And if you that scared, then you don't need to be doing this job. And so they end up taking me downtown for that one, drawing my blood and everything. And they set my bond at $150,000. So 15 grand to get out.
Who helped you get out?
My sister.
Okay. So then you get out.
4 days later.
Okay, so you're in jail 4 days later, so you get out. Does this fuck with your job, anything like that?
Luckily, I got good rapport.
Okay.
So my job was still secure. They pretty much put everything on hold
They
until
were
I
just
was
like innocent until proven guilty kind of mindset, which is how it should be. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. At least you got that. At least you got that break. All right. So you're out on the second now instance. Had you been charged with Lucius yet? Did they ever
That got thrown out.
Okay. So that got thrown out. So how did that go down? At what point did you find out it came to a head, and then what made them throw it out? Like,
Because they found out that the supposed blood was not blood. He wouldn't even tell me what it was. I found out later on it was ketchup. But that and a
how
lot
did
of
you find out?
my other lawyer, because I went through 2 lawyers.
Oh, okay.
And they mentioned it, and my sister heard them, because my sister was like, he tells me everything. He didn't even tell me that. I'm like, because I didn't know. They just told me it was inconclusive.
So they go through all the investigation. They pretty much exonerate you of any wrongdoing.
Yep.
And so at that point, this is when you start getting all the heat from her.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because it's like she was going in stages, just trying different things to try to either get me to do something or get somebody to do something to me.
One of the two, or just get you to slip completely up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet you have a lot.
That's why I said it was calculated. Like, the more I look back, it's not grief. Like, this was something else.
Well, it could have been like, if you think about it, maybe she was just so grievous. She was like, fuck him, total enemy. I'm going to just bury him. And that's not the right way of looking at it at all. But
It was too planned out. It was way too planned out and too, like, meditated about.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, and once she started it rolling, she didn't want to stop. And she used to always say that once I start on somebody, I don't know how to quit.
My mom said the same thing. She had a little pit bull in her too.
So,
all right. So how did you end up getting out of all this stuff? Like, how much did it cost you? What was it like? Like, I presume the financial backbreaking was pretty severe for the lawyers.
yeah.
Probably the expert testimony you had to have, all the other stuff like that goes into it.
That and constantly moving, because I was trying to stay out of sight. So I never stayed in no place longer than 6 months, because I never knew when or if she was trying to follow me or whatever. Because I found out also that I went out to celebrate Lucius's birthday by going to do something that he likes. Well, go to Opera Mills, try to go to Dave and Buster's. I walk in, I see her coming down the ramp. I turn around and leave. Apparently, she saw me leaving. She runs out of the front of Dave and Buster's and is taking photos of me. I found this out from one of the 15 witnesses she tried to get to corroborate what she was saying. They told me and sent me the photos. So I knew they weren't lying. They even sent me a whole narrative that she typed up, which was also presented in court, which is also why I was exonerated with all this crap. Because you said I was stalking you. You taking pictures of me walking away. How am I stalking you?
Wow.
And then you saying all this other stuff happened, but here's a whole narrative you typed up for somebody that you wanted them to read, and they wouldn't do it.
So all this goes to court.
All of it.
All this starts coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Do they just, does it all go all the way to an end to a verdict?
No.
So, okay. So tell us how that goes down.
The judge at the end, it got so crazy, the judge literally pulled out, it was a female judge, a former domestic violence prosecutor. And she literally told her to her face, I don't believe a damn thing you saying. It got to the point where the judge pulled out her phone and started playing on her phone. She was like, I'm not listening to this anymore. This is stupid. And when the judge asked the DA at the time, she was like, well, if I throw this out, are you going to come after this man? The DA was like, well, more than likely, yeah. And she was like, okay. I just wanted to get you on record saying that. But I'm telling you, this ain't going to stick nowhere. No one's going to believe this. Like, no one. All the stuff you claiming that he's doing, there's actual evidence that she's done it.
So how was she able to prove aggravated rape without anything like that? That's the one that I'm curious on, because I'm like, I feel like you'd have to have something to get that.
You would think, but apparently
I
you
don't
can
know
get
the
in more
law
trouble
well,
if somebody lies on you than you actually do something to somebody. So I to this day can't figure that out.
How many trust issues do you have now after all this?
A lot.
What are you doing for your mental health after all this stuff?
I went to therapy for a while, and I just surround myself with people. Well, the few people I got left, because I found out a lot of friends weren't friends.
It's amazing how you find that out.
Yeah, and I hate it took that for me to find that out, but I really learned who I could talk to and trust and who I can't. Mm-hmm. And that's why, hats off to you, like when you told me, why don't you go work out at the gym? Because I wasn't training then. Mm-hmm. Like I had just gave up on everything. And you asked me, like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't really want to lift. And you like, bullshit. You work out. You need to go lift. Go do something. Go blow some steam off. 3 a.m, you can't sleep, go to the gym. Literally, you came to me like, you got me back in the gym.
Yeah.
So that was a very therapeutic, and it kind of just showed me that somebody was in my corner. I knew I had other people in my corner, but when you did that, it just really started driving stuff home for me.
Right.
And I just went from there and tried to slowly rebuild myself and comprehend what was going on. And March 9th marks the 3rd year of him passing. And this is the first year that I've actually been able to grieve him since he's passed.
What does that look like for you to grieve?
It's kind of weird, honestly. Like, cause I'm like, it hasn't just happened, even though every day it feels like it just happened. But I'm like, I literally haven't sat down and thought about it and just looked at the situation. Cause I've always been like, do I need to dodge the cops today? Is somebody gonna try to shoot me today? Is she following me today? Do I need to call my lawyer today? Like, those were my methods every day. So for me to not have to do that, it's like,
I didn't even think about that. Him not getting to grieve. I'm such an asshole. I didn't even think about that. Like, as this going on, but as you're saying that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You wouldn't even have had a chance to really think about it.
Couldn't breathe.
That's what I can't get over this whole time. So I'm like busting over here. I'm like, I can't believe that somebody that it should be. It just, I can't even put my head around. Like, she had a loss too. Like, you guys should, like, they should have brought. I cannot imagine. And actually, what Jeff said, it was the only thing that crossed my mind. It's like, it's almost like she, and this is in no way to dismiss, because this is insane what she's done here, but it's almost like she like decided that you were the enemy, and that was it. And that was it. She was like, I'm gonna get him. I don't care how, I don't care when, I don't care what I have to say, what I have to do. I'm gonna get him because she blamed it on you.
And that's what killed me, and that's what I touched on. Because I had made a video and posted it. That's the last video I'm going to post. I'm not posting any more videos. But it really shined a light on stuff with me that men, most of us anyway, like that came up, we were taught to numb ourselves. Mm-hmm. If you cried, you're a punk. Like, so, and that's literally just how it was. Like, you bottle that shit up and just walk around and get hit by trucks. That's what you do. And I was sitting there looking like, because every time somebody brought it up, well, she lost a son. Yeah. She lost a son. Her child is gone.
Your son's gone. Your
I
child's
lost
gone.
it. She's not the only one. But when it came to that situation, I was excluded when it came to emotions. And I found that out.
That's an interesting point of view. That's really an interesting point of view. Interesting way you said, because, we're often blamed because we don't show our emotions. But then in the situation like that, your emotions were null and voided because of what was going on.
And if we do show emotions, something's wrong with us automatically. Like, it's not sympathy. It's more like ridicule that we're faced with. And I was like, this is sad. And it just dawned on me.
What would you have advice to other men who've experienced the loss of a child due to suicide? Like, what would be one thing that you just want them to know?
You're not alone. Your feelings are valid. And you really need to sit down and assess the situation. Because one thing it did do, it consumed me. Like, I've never felt pain like that before. So when people say they know what it's like to hurt, you have no idea. Losing a child, I can't even fathom that pain. I still can't fathom that pain. but you have to learn to deal with it. And if you can't sit down and deal with it, it's going to consume you. It's not going to go away. So never think that it's going to go away. But you can learn to manage it. And that's important.
I like that. It's every scar is there for a reason.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
You want to ask something? Go for it.
Yeah, so I just had two quick questions, and wherever you want to take them, you can. But one of them is on the same line of what we're talking about. So I'll say that one first, and then the second one. But number one, at that time, we were just talking about how you almost weren't even able to grieve because of everything you were having to deal with. So at that time, since then, now as you sit here, is there anger? Is there anger at the way you were treated after that? Is there anger at the way that the cops treated you in the moments after that? Is there anger?
Sue the shit out of the police. Like,
I mean, because for me, I just sit here and I'm like, I don't understand how you were. It's making me angry, and I'm just sitting here. I cannot comprehend the fact that you were treated that way right after that happened. It would be very easy to convert that into just rage.
It was. I was consumed with a lot of rage to the point where I would go home like out the blue and lock myself in the house because I would be so enraged. And I'm like, the next person I see, if they blink wrong, I'm going to lose it. And I'm like, I don't need to unleash that on the world. I need to go get my emotions in check and control myself. It was like that for at least 6 months to a year. So, and as far as cops go, I didn't really trust cops anyway. I know not all cops are bad because a lot of people just people doing their job and they literally become cops for legit reasons. Yeah. But you also have people that become cops for the wrong reasons. And the only thing that this did for me was it literally just made me have PTSD anytime I saw the cops. Like if a cop pulled me over right now, I'll just look at him. He'll be asking questions and I would just look at him because I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't know what you're going to do, but whatever you're going to do, just do it. I have nothing to say. And I got a few friends that are cops, but the trust factor is completely gone.
What's your trust factor like with women?
Yeah, that's, it's okay, but it's like once they start getting close to me, I get nervous. Because I'm like, what do you want from me? Because my ex didn't have to do anything. I literally took care of the whole house.
Yeah, I remember you were team no sleep.
Yeah, so now I'm just to a point where I'm like, I don't want nobody to take advantage of me. So I kind of feel like when somebody's being too nice, they want something. And I'm a little bit better about it now, but the second anything seems weird, I automatically start associating it like, is this similar to what she did? Maybe it is similar to what she did. What do you want from me? And that's where my mind goes. So, but I'm working on this a little bit better now. It's not as bad as it was, but for a second, I'm like, all y'all are dogs to me. I could care less.
You just walked through quite a bit of stuff with her, right? Was there on any level at any point repercussions for any of these things turning out not to be true at all?
You would think so, but no. Nothing.
And how do you feel? I mean, that's got.
I got some lawsuits planned on my end to do because I have sued her before for what's the malicious prosecution. I didn't get it. I got it from malicious prosecution the first one. Won that suit. Then all this other stuff came after that. So you would have thought they would have looked back at previous lies and saw that she has a history of doing this, but they still came after me because she's a woman, I'm a man, and they just came after me.
Do you feel that you gotta be like looking one eye over your shoulder the whole time?
I do, but I actually respond better under pressure. And I guess that's the bodyguard side of me because I used to do that. And I'm just always aware of my surroundings at all times. But it is tiring thinking that I'm looking for somebody I thought I knew. That's probably where it actually troubles me at.
Do you think that that's kind of an issue in general that men face when they deal with these kind of things?
Oh, most definitely. I've heard it on several instances that men will be accused of stuff and they'll be found to be, not guilty or whatever. And they just be like, oh, our bad, sorry. And that's just the end of it. Because even with my situation, everything I was accused of, all the evidence, like when we was in court, they got proof of witness tampering because one of her witnesses didn't want to testify. They got her on tape trying to put voodoo on this person. They asked her about it in court.
That's real extreme voodoo.
Voodoo on one.
Took a left turn.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. She was sprinkling orange dust around the person's business, and they had her on camera doing this.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. And
Sounds like Q's in a lifetime
Oh,
movie.
I was about to say, so did you have any indication that this woman was this crazy? I'm sorry just to say it, but like,
no, I've been asked that question a lot. A little bit, yeah. But I didn't know it would go this far.
Right.
So it was kind of showing a little. Like she used to send her mom hate mail every year, a certified hate letter.
Oh, that should have been a flag.
Every year.
I'm actually like, man, I low-key kind of want to do that. Well, people really do that. That idea doesn't sound so bad. That doesn't sound such an asshole that I want to do it.
Oh, shit. Do you remember A.J. Johnson?
No.
He played at Tennessee. He was a linebacker at Tennessee. He was going to go in the first round. And he got accused of rape.
Oh, yeah.
He spent 3 years in prison. He did not do it. The woman faced he was coming out in the draft, was going to be a first-round draft pick for sure. We're Tennessee fans. I watch every snap of that man. He's a dog. Got accused as he's coming out. He spent 3 years in jail. She faced no repercussions. He did, thank God, eventually sign with an NFL team. But she cost him tens of millions of dollars and his dream.
Yep.
And she faced zero repercussions.
And that's how they treat mine. Like you literally have proof that she's broken laws and you won't go after her. Like straight up on the paper proof. But yeah, so yeah.
My last question to wrap this up, and this is something that just came up to after hearing this and just taking in like what you went through with Lucius's death, the way people looked at you, the way you were judged, the way you weren't supported, the way you were treated. How do you find happiness in this life anymore? And what are you doing to like make that like a focus point? Or if that's not your focus point, what are you doing to keep yourself just above water to make sure you finish your days here? Because me and you talked, and this is why this popped in. And you had told me the only reason you didn't kill yourself is because you know that Lucius knew he did not want you to do that. I remember you had told me that day. And you're like, I want to. I just don't want to be here, but I can't. I just got to do it. And then you were telling me about working. And that was that night I had messaged you about the gym.
Yeah.
So what brings you happiness? If not, then what are you doing to finish your time out here in a way that at least makes it where you're like, okay, I can have peace with this life from here until the end?
It's funny you bring that up. I literally thought about that last week, actually. I was driving down 40 and I just thought about maybe I'm not meant to be happy. And I just broke down. So the fact that you mentioned that, and I literally just said that to myself, is just surreal. But I'm just working on it because I feel like it eludes me. But I'm trying to hold out some kind of hope that it is there somewhere. And maybe by some miracle it's meant for me. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep pushing. Because I feel like that's all I can do at this point, But maybe I'll be happy, maybe I won't. But I guess we'll see. And I'm going to just hold out hope for it.
I have a feeling you're going to get that. I do. Because your resilience alone, the way that you just want to, the fact that you haven't chased the bottom of a bottle, the bottom of a needle, anything in between.
I did drink for a while.
Yeah, but not like burn your whole life down like some people do. And that was there. But what I'm getting at is just all these things, man, because Like I just sit back and I'm just like, God damn, man, you've just been through it, and just I feel your emotions. I see it from you right now. You know, wiping tears because it's one of those moments where, yeah, it's years later, but it's like you said, like time is still there.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like frozen to you, just like just yesterday, just yesterday, just yesterday, and I think you're gonna get your happiness, man. And I ain't saying that because I blow smoke up your ass because you know I ain't that guy, but I think you'll be. I don't know. I think you've just kept a really good lens to life, like, you know,
Yeah.
and perspective. And it's some of the hardest shit that I couldn't even want to walk through that you've managed to walk through. And I wish you all the best and all the luck. And I think you're actually going to get that, man. And I can't wait to see that for you. So I don't know if you're, you know, men, if you guys know any good single attractive female ladies. I don't know if Quentin's single, but you know, maybe if they're not total batshit crazy, it might not be featured on an episode of Oxygen Snapped. You know, throw them a bone or whatever. But really, man, I appreciate you coming on and just chatting about that today, because I remember I was touching base with you at the gym and what was going on, and I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, what the fuck? I'm like, you're not even getting charged that, but you get charged all this, and it was the wildest story you were.
Dude, every time I saw you, it was something new.
And it was like, and you had told me once. I remember you told me. He goes, you were like, you know, man, I just feel like I'm a haunted man. And I just remember I was like, well, damn. You know what a blunt way to say it, but literally you lived like it was like Ghost at all times. And when you just said that earlier about the whole morning, I was like, holy shit! Like literally 3 years of your life just poof. Gone.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're right back in there. It's like, that's when you know, make sense when you're like, it's just like yesterday, because it really was, because you had this whole gap there that you couldn't even be a dad. You had to mourn that. You had to be Q, the man, you know, and it's different. So I appreciate you letting us see behind that. And a lot of men out there, you know, suicide destroys so many things.
Yeah, it's one of them things, man. Like, unfortunately, that some of us have to deal with. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, because it's the worst tragedy ever, and you can't even put it in the right context. But to be able to have this conversation and share it openly, man, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you.
With that being said, guys, if you want to have Q back on and there's anything you guys want to chat with him about, let me know. I can put you in contact with him. Maybe we'll bring him back for the Ultimate Tragedy panel. Maybe we'll put together and we can just get a few of us that have all fucked up and just throw us together on the world. And then just be like, all right, we'll just do it. But, you know, because sometimes you gotta make a little light out of the dark. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate it, dude. With that being said, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, share us. Hopefully we can make some change out there, but at least, the very least, help men be able to talk, because that's one thing we need to be able to do better.